I'm alright, I'm okay. Alright. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm gonna start the video here, but I'm gonna finish it up later. I am having my first endometriosis pain episode since my laparoscopy. So that got me thinking, what made me go to the gynecologist? What were my symptoms? How did I feel? What made me go, something isn't right? What made me ignore the 5 practitioners that told me nothing was wrong with me? Let's talk about it, because you saw the surgery vlog, me finding out that I have it, but the lead up wasn't really discussed. So I'm going to talk about that a bit later. But right now, I'm going to go and get my heat pack, put it in the microwave, and curl up in a little ball on my couch. BRB, I can't stop burping. They're like pain burps. BRB, you'll see me when I am not in as much pain. Natural beauty, yeah. From the front, wait till you see it from the back.
I have gotten a couple of DMs on my Instagram page just about, how the process of finding someone to talk about endometriosis with was, because it was quite a long process for me. I'm gonna get into that in a minute, but I'm gonna tie my hair up. Hold on one sec. So I was just getting my dates straight for you guys. So starting, not at the beginning, because this all stems back years and years, but really the beginning of when this started getting to the point where I knew something was wrong was January this year. Pain was taking over my life at this point. I was in pain 3 weeks of every month, the week before my period, the week of, and the week after my period, and it was awful. Having a chronic pain condition is exhausting. You just feel miserable and really overwhelmed. Anyway, so I started getting pains in January when I was down south. When I moved back up here in Feb, I decided to see a doctor, and I basically went to her with textbook endometriosis symptoms, which I later found out. And she basically told me to be better at taking pain medication. And have I tried Panadol? How often do I take Panadol? And then she basically told me to take Panadol for 2 weeks and see how it goes. And I was just like, I'm not gonna do that, and I'm not listening to that. We get to April 2020, 2 months later. COVID-19 has hit like a wrecking ball, and Mark McGowan, our Premier, makes the decision to close our borders in-state, closes off Perth from Busselton. Before it happened, I moved all my stuff down south and decided to move back in with my mum and dad for the few months that we would all be in lockdown. So I moved home in April and decided to see a new practitioner while I was down there because the pain was getting worse. I saw my second practitioner, a beautiful doctor who really tried her best within her means to help me and find out what was wrong with me. I had CT scans and ultrasounds, and she was trying everything she could, blood cultures, swallowed a bit of dust. When I get to this doctor and she's trying to find any reason why I'm having this pain and why I'm so miserable, and she can't find anything, I really start to question my sanity, my pain tolerance, everything to do with my body. I'm really going through the motions in not trusting how I'm feeling and not trusting my gut. We get to July 2020. I've just moved back up, uni starting again, and I'm still getting these pains consistently. I decide to book another GP appointment with a different doctor in Perth, and he wants to send me to a gynecologist just to make sure everything's okay with my reproductive system, make sure there's no cancer or anything that could be causing this pain. So I got sent to a gynecologist. I already had one that I had heard good things about, and that was Dr. I can't remember her name, but I couldn't see her. She had a huge wait list. So I ended up booking in with Dr. Roger Perkins, another doctor at the same surgery, and he was amazing. Any girls that are in Perth who need a gynecologist, Dr. Perkins I would highly recommend. He made me feel so comfortable, so at home, and going to a gynecologist can be a really uncomfortable experience. I booked the appointment. It has about a 2-month wait, so I booked it for August. Between when I booked the appointment and the appointment, I had one of the worst pain episodes of my life. Like probably the worst pain I've ever experienced. Worse than appendicitis, worse than surgery recovery, worse than, literally anything I experienced. It started at like 6 o'clock one night in August, and to the point where I just burst out in tears. Usually it takes me a while to get there. It takes pain in a while to break me down to the point where I'm going to cry. The only way I can explain it is imagine someone punching you in the stomach over and over and over and over again until you want to vomit. It was awful. I've not had an episode like that since I was like 16 maybe, and I'm crying. My sister does not know what to do. I couldn't even walk up the stairs. I crawled for a little bit, and then Ellen had to end up helping me get up. I just had to turn the shower on as hot as it could and stand under it to the point where I was in so much pain I couldn't even feel the water burning my skin. I came out and my skin stayed red for like hours after I got out of the shower because it was almost like I had a sunburn because the water was so hot. That continued on for the next 18 hours and I had had enough. The next day I decided to take myself to the hospital. I got there and again, I basically got a door shut in my face. I ended up staying there for like 6 hours. They did an ultrasound, couldn't find anything wrong with me. And I actually think they might have thought I was there for drugs because they gave me like this Panadol codeine, like washed down codeine, and it barely touched my pain. Like I was still hysterical. It was still hurting so bad. Obviously it was a bit better, but it was awful. And yeah, by the time Ellen got there, they basically told me they didn't have a gynecologist on staff. There was nothing they could do. And they basically just had to send me home. Didn't even send me home with any more pain medication. And it was just an awful experience. So I get to late August and I'm feeling so defeated. And I'm praying that I can go to this gynecologist and he'll have some sort of answer for me about why I'm in this pain. I get to my appointment with Dr. Perkins. We just sat down, had a discussion, and he was like, I think it's endometriosis without a doubt. I would like to do a laparoscopy and a hysteroscopy to check everything out, check that there's nothing else there, see if there's endometriosis, and if there is, we'll remove all the tissue. And I am so relieved in this point. I burst into tears when I get back in the car because I am just ecstatic. Insert crying video here. Oh, I'm literally so relieved. If this gets rid of my pain, I'm gonna be so happy. I book my surgery for a week later. Get to my surgery, I am beyond nervous. I wasn't nervous at first, and to be honest, I didn't feel the nerves until I was laying down on the table with the anesthesiologist and the nurses and the surgeon, and I knew that I was about to have this pretty invasive set of procedures. So yeah, I get to my surgery and I was so dopey. Like after my appendicitis surgery, I don't remember anything, but because of COVID, no one was even allowed with me in the surgery, like not in the surgery, but like in my room. Ellen basically just had to drop me and then like come back after I was finished. So she dropped me like 7 o'clock in the morning and then picked me up at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock or something. I ended up taking notes on my phone and I remember typing them while I was like coming out of the drugs. It was probably like an hour or 2 after the surgery and I cried. I was just so relieved. He came in and he said, I'm pretty sure I would still have the note. I'll put it here. Basically, he said he found something. It was widespread and he is sending it off for testing. He took a biopsy of a lot of it, but he's almost sure that it is endometriosis. I was just so ready for this pain to be over. Lo and behold, it was endometriosis and it helped so much because I've barely had any pain episodes since. It's November now, so I would count September because it was the beginning of September. So September, October, November. It's been 3 months and I've had one pain episode, which you just saw, and I was still able to walk around, get water, walk up and down the stairs. Oh, I was almost excited. I was like, this pain episode is nothing. Like, it still obviously hurt and I was in pain, but I didn't have to take any drugs. Sorry, I said drugs. I shouldn't say that. I didn't have to take any Panadol or Nurofen and I could just breathe through it and be there with my heat pack and it was bearable. I could have melted into a puddle on the floor. I was so excited. I can't even express how important it is if you are going through this to really trust your instincts because there were so many steps along the way that made me question how I thought about pain, my pain tolerance, my gut feelings. So if you are experiencing any of the symptoms I've just talked about, go and see a GP that you trust. Go and see a gynecologist. Talk to them about it, because if you have a feeling in your gut that something is not right, it most likely is not right. And I hate that I ever strayed from my feeling of something is not right in my body, because you are the only one in your body. You know what feels normal for you. You know when a feeling is so foreign that you are, I don't know, questioning everything. So that's basically how I found out that I have endometriosis, and how I knew that something wasn't right and that I had something even to look into. So I really hope that it helps one of you, because that's the whole point of me telling stuff like this. It's not to just talk about myself and yuck on. You're probably like, Grace, shut up. I'm super happy that you came along with me today, and let me know if you found this helpful, or DM me on Instagram if you have any questions. So that is all for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. I obviously post videos every Sunday, so I will see you next week.